organization. We see cloud and data center technologies. I heard some of the English words that were being said about titration analytics and how analytics is affecting real-time information. Cisco has developed a solution in that was demonstrated on stage in the keynote. That is one area of many that we will be using network analytics to provide continued valuable innovations so businesses and governments can make quick decisions, agile decisions around information that can be captured from the network and delivered to the end user. We continue to see mobility being a very big trend. We see it impacting not only customers, but employees. There's a term we use called the consumerization of IT. And I just have to look around the room here and I see an example of how you are using what was originally developed as consumer technologies now in business applications. And we see it everywhere. We see it in our workforce, we see it with our customers, we see it in every business. So the mobile aspect of that continues to be important. I've learned a lot about the IoT activities within Romania. To me, my observation is IoT is very important. In Romania, it's an emphasis. I've seen thought leadership. IoT applications remain top of mind with customers that I work with around the world. In understanding how connecting more and more devices, but not just connecting them, but information we get from them, how that is having a large impact on the edge, because can information be manipulated and processed at the edge, and important information using techniques like machine learning and other techniques go back to decision makers in IoT environments. So that's been very big as well. And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't say we continue to see the network and a very important role in this. I've been working in the ICT and telecommunications industry for 30 years. I have never seen a pace of change like I've seen right now. New ideas are getting introduced, it seems almost on a weekly basis. And the network impact of what is happening, we think, is very large. So we continue to make sure that we understand the delivered value of the network in a cloud environment, in an IoT environment, in cybersecurity, in collaboration, and all of these things that it touches. And we're seeing changes. Maybe 5 years ago, we were just talking about SDN. Now people are using software control on a regular basis to interface and automate the network in order to keep up with these changes. We've already talked about analytics and how important that is to get information from the network. We have seen a large dependency on hardware for that, to be honest with you, because getting information from the network usually requires some real-time capabilities that's needed in silicon to deliver that information, because I cannot slow down the data rates. The business won't accept it, the customers won't accept it. So the hardware plan factors into that. And then how we orchestrate that across the entire technology spectrum. Ultimately, the way we look at this is you've got users who want to connect to applications. And then what you have to build in between them. So what's between them today is things like access networks, aggregation, edge, core, the WAN, the data center. And our focus is on orchestrating services across those so that I can extract value at any place along it. So those are some of the foundations of our technology strategy based on the trends that we see. And I get involved in almost every area of technology that Cisco participates in. So if you have any questions about it, chances are I've seen it, and if I haven't, I will be honest and tell you that. So those are my thoughts.
Before going to questions, you mentioned the pace of change. Something that is being accelerated as you have never seen before. One topic that we mentioned today is around education, because you cannot cope with the pace of change if you are not educated, and this is starting to be a concern. I was looking at some reports delivered by the European Union that basically says that in the last period, the number of computer science graduates is decreasing. In the same time, the need for computer graduates is increasing. So there is a widening gap between what is being offered and what is offered, what is needed. And we have been addressing this in the last, I think, 25 years, roughly 25 years, and in Romania in the last 16 to 17 years through Cisco Networking Academy. And we have presented some numbers. Around the world, we have more than 5.5 million people who graduated Cisco Networking Academy. In Romania, we have more than 88,000 people who went through Cisco Networking Academy. And you mentioned cybersecurity, Mike. Last year, last fiscal year, so end of July 2015, end of July 2016, 228 people graduated Cisco Networking Academy Security, the CCNA Security curriculum. And I'm happy to say and to emphasize that Cisco is developing and it's adapting its curricula to new tendencies like IoT, like programmability, and we have through Cisco Networking Academy trainings like programming C++ or IoT, or, because you mentioned also the business side, entrepreneurship trainings. And remember, these trainings are offered for free, the content is offered for free, developed and offered for free with the platform through our networking academies. We have around 150 networking academies in Romania. I think this is a real impact that we are making in every country that wants to develop the digital skills for the digital economy. I just wanted to mention this and emphasize this, and now we are open to questions.
You've mentioned Internet of Things and its growth and the growing interest for this kind of technology. How will Internet of Things influence the growing traffic congestion, and what does Cisco do about this?
So we're first of all, I believe this is an issue that we have to watch very carefully, because I believe you're right. If you not only look at just the sheer volume, number of devices being connected, and I think Doreen, in your keynote you showed 1.6 billion devices connected, and that's growing at a very fast pace. It's also the traffic coming from these devices. I showed some statistics about what's going to be needed to be done in the AR/VR space to keep up with that, which will have very big implications in IoT. So Cisco, this is why we believe the network is an important element of this. We've also been very clear as we see this push to software, which we embrace, and I can give you many examples that where we've developed software solutions. There is still a role for hardware. And this, Alex, this goes right to your question. Cisco announced a chip manufacturer that we bought a few quarters ago out of Israel. That is very important for continuing hardware innovation to keep pace with exactly the traffic that you anticipate from IoT and other applications. So we believe that it's going to be a balance of hardware and software in the appropriate places to keep demand with this. And with that will come then the automation and the orchestration and all the other demands on it. But we are not taking our eye off the hardware piece, because with traffic demands that you just described, there will need to be an infrastructure that will need to make sure that we don't experience congestion, that quality of service or end customer experience remains high. So it's something we're watching, and it's something we continue to invest in, leveraging our existing expertise as well as continue looking at future investments.
recent study I read, I can't remember which one, I think Nokia states that by 2020, a fifth of demand of traffic will not be able to be satisfied. If this happens, what would happen? Like, I don't know, worldwide economy, or how will the clients react, the big clients and the smaller ones?
Ooh, okay, first of all, I have not heard that statistics.
It is, I can send you a link.
I would actually be very interested because I would, I'd like to understand these trends and the dynamics. Can you read what you read to me again, just so I make sure that I
So a
understand?
fifth of the demand will not be satisfied in terms of network traffic. I have to find,
Demand will
yeah.
not be satisfied, meaning that 20% will go unserved.
Yeah, or
and-
served with lower speeds than they're used to, than they can expect, that they're guaranteed. I'm going to try and find
So
stuff.
I need to understand that dynamic better, because I think that as we look at barriers to any of the adoption of any of the digital capabilities, and it could be IoT, it could be cloud, it can be many others, that sounds like a barrier to me. Other barriers could include security, other barriers, there could be several others, but I think that what we have to make sure we do, and I've seen efforts around the world by many companies that are launching trials. So I'll read it just so. This calculates that by 2020, Wi-Fi and cellular networks taken together will be able to carry just 81% of the projected mobile content traffic, to almost 1/5. So this was specific to Wi-Fi and cellular, which is a popular access technology, which many people are using. I mean, this is becoming an unwired world. So specifically in Wi-Fi and cellular, as you know, we have a major investment. We are embracing the 802.11ac transitions that are going on right now. We continue to evaluate spectrum utilization in both licensed and unlicensed, so we understand that. I know that there are other vendors and carriers looking at licensed and unlicensed for non-Wi-Fi applications as well. So that, I think the impact on that will be twofold. What I have found is with the pace of innovation, that developers end up getting very creative on how to use applications to solve some of the challenges. I've seen customers of ours who have worked at the application layer to solve the problem, so that maybe I am doing some interesting information on the edge so that traffic is traversing the network and keeping it off of the network. We have a concept we call fog computing, which is basically taking cloud technology and distributing it as far out. That's going to help alleviate problems like that. So what I don't think will happen is I don't think that we will get to that point and people will throw up their hands and say, time to give up. I think what you're going to see is a lot of innovation around the specific challenges that people face. And I think those ideas are going to come from anywhere. We've seen ideas on solving these problems coming from anywhere. I think it will be application focused. But I continue to see investment both from Cisco as well as other people in the wireless space to make sure that we've got infrastructure to meet that demand. Probably the best way that I can answer the question.
How about security?
How about security? As far as an impact and maybe a barrier to execution, I see a very different approach to security now than I did 10 years ago. And it's a good approach. I think there was a quote that I saw, I think it was T-Systems, I'm sorry, I don't know, the telecom they had put up. And I think it was attributed to, who was the security? Yeah, no, it was a FBI director who said there's two kinds of customers, right? Ones that have been hacked and ones that will be hacked. I have a different view. I do think there's two kinds of customers. Those that have been hacked and those that don't know that they've been hacked. Okay, I see so much, just when you look at Cisco statistics on our own network and what we see, we have hundreds of people evaluating what's happening on our network, and we see attacks not every day, not every hour, every second, and attempts and how that, so it is happening. And I think there's an understanding of that. I think maybe 10 years ago, companies would wait until they were, and until it was discovered. And I'm not seeing that today. Now I'm seeing people embrace the security message of designing it in from in every aspect that you do. I should not develop an IoT strategy and then get done and then have an appendix saying, okay, this is how security is going to be done. I have to think about it in my software, my hardware, in how my people function and my policies, and in my process. It's going to have to be pervasive. And I'm seeing more of a willingness to look at that.
Do you think this change will come to normal customers? I was today involved in a discussion on social media. There was one guy asking what antivirus should I use for my phone, Android. And 9 out of 10 of responders said, you don't need one. Just be careful what you click on. And those people are working in companies and they're using the company's Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's an easy way to.
So we address it, at Cisco we address it two ways. Number one is we do look at developing using technology to help solve the problem, okay? So I don't know if anybody saw the video before of the anatomy of a hacker that walks through a scenario of a woman who is using tools like malware, ransomware in a fictional company, okay? And the approach that she uses in the process, and some of the approach is technical, but some of the approach is also social. And we've heard about social engineering and things like that. So our approach is twofold. Number one is, yes, we want to educate people, and many